Welcome everyone to Simsar Radio. I'm Ajinkya More,
I am Himanshu Manwani.
I'm Manushri Bajpayee.
and in this episode we have our esteemed faculties Professor Dr. Anjali Chopra and Professor Aparna Pandey. Both of them are also the founders of KJ Somaya Institute of Management's book club, READ, which stands for Readers Enjoy Authors' Dreams. And we also have along with them this year's senior member Rama Bhandare from PGDM Integrated Marketing Communications Batch. We appreciate all three of you taking out time from your busy schedules today and having a chat with us. So, for the first question, we'll start from the beginning and we would love to know what led to the inception of Read Club. How is it supposed to promote the habit of reading and what are some other goals for the club?
I'd like to say that it's not so much about inculcating a habit of reading or developing a habit. I would say it's like to promote the joy of reading. You know, how much fun we can have while we read. We can look at different genres, we can look at different things. And I would say it all began when I was taking a session on how you can learn leadership from literature and leadership from books, different kinds of books, whether they're cartoons, whether they are, novels, or whether they're slightly heavier stuff, which were to do with management thinking and practices. And we had two students, Akshit and Trisha, and Trish was the one who really, encouraged, and she said that we have a group of students who are very fond of reading, so let's, we should do this. And I really caught on to the idea. We went ahead, we got, permissions, and we decided to start the book club. And I think I've been very happy in the first year. We've just completed 1 year, and I think the experience is shared with by Anjali as well. Anjali?
Yeah, okay. Both Professor Aparna Pandey and myself, we share the cabin. And both of us really enjoy reading. So if you walk into our cabin, you will see both our tables are filled with books. And we would always be discussing, okay, what book are you reading and what is it about and all of that. So there's this shared, reading habit. And the book club just seemed a logical extension since it was really taking your hobby forward to a larger audience. Also, personally, I felt that a book club would, inculcate a very disciplined reading in me as opposed to very ad hoc reading. So normally reading is about, okay, now I have the time, let me read something. But because of the book club, I actually became very disciplined about my reading. And this is where our book club is different from other book clubs because we don't really focus on an author or we don't focus on a book, but we focus on various themes. And we invite our readers to talk about books which would actually fit a particular theme. Now, I can safely say that this has really opened our minds to different genres, different types of books, and it is amazing to see the kind of books that really get discussed. So this is really what, the Simsar book club is all about, READ, which is Readers Enjoy Authors' Dreams. So that's a little bit about the start of our book club.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, ma'am. That was a wonderful little anecdote. The next question is to Rama. Rama, what do you feel are some must-reads for an MBA aspirant? Also, do you feel that reading certain genres rather than others gives someone an edge for better holistic development from a management student viewpoint?
See, I am a person who reads for joy, and I feel that, everybody should read for joy because reading is something which is very personal, like ma'am also mentioned, and you should read because you love reading or you like reading, not because, you are following some kind of a list that comes up on internet. Like I see a lot of lists on internet, like 25 books to read before 25 and all. But I feel that if I don't resonate with a particular book, I won't read it. Like you won't believe that even after being such an avid reader, I haven't read Harry Potter yet. And a lot of people think, oh, it's a crime not to read a Harry Potter. But it's something that I did not connect with. I did read 2 books, but I couldn't connect with it. So I left it. So I feel there is no genre as such that, an MBA aspirant should read. I feel that MBA is a very stressful thing when you are juggling between so many things. You have pressure to get placed and all. So you should just read for joy or read because it gives you fun. Or it's for me, reading is an escape. So I cannot say like I recommend any kind of books for an MBA aspirant. But obviously, like I mentioned about the book Shoe Dog by the Nike founder, or even all these memoirs. I also read a wonderful book a couple of weeks back that was A Ride of a Lifetime by the Disney CEO Bob Iger. So all these books, written by CEOs and entrepreneurs and successful founders of companies, they just give you a perspective of what to expect in a corporate world or how to navigate through crisis.
Oh, thank you, Rama. Thank you for that candid answer.
So, talking about your early days, Aparna ma'am, how did you get into reading? I mean, what motivated you? And also, which was your first book?
Okay. It's that would be very interesting because my family has always been into reading. Whether it's my father's family or my mother's, I was always surrounded by books. And Hindi, I think I started off with some Amar Chitrakatha and even Parag and Champak and Nandan, and even those Russian translations of into Hindi, Leo Tolstoy, and there were a lot of other books. I still remember some of the names. Most of you might not be familiar because now we don't have those Russian translations. And in English, I think I started with Enid Blyton. Enid Blyton was, bedtime stories was, I still have that book. I was in nursery or KG when one of my aunts gave it to me. And I think that was the first thick book which I had, Enid Blyton. And then I, moved on to others as well. You have the St. Clair's, Mallory Towers, etc. So it was a habit which began. And, as Anjali said, Professor Anjali said, it's been a pleasure having her in the same cabin because every day in the morning, we'll discuss and that this is it. And there's so many new things which I have learned, about books from her, that she explores different books in different genres. I catch on to an author and I try and explore as many books from the same author. So it just widens up the choice that we have. And of course, I have a spouse who's very much into books. And so it just adds on, it just builds on that. The pressure also builds on, ki, acha, you finish this, I also need to read this, and then so that we can discuss on a one-to-one basis. So it's there at home, it's there in office. I think it's all around me also. So that's what I can say. And I think, as I said, the first book, English, Enid Blyton, Hindi, many, Amar Chitrakatha probably, I would say. Yeah.
It's nice to see. I think most of us even started with Enid Blyton and Amar Chitrakatha as well. So, Anjali ma'am, this question is for you. Pandemic has altered the routine for most of the people, but the few lucky ones have the same routine. How has pandemic affected your reading habits?
Okay, so the pandemic has actually given me a lot of time to spend with myself, given that the commute time has really gone down. Also, I'm an introvert, so the pandemic has really been a boon. There is no longer time spent on, little social activities and, corridor talks and all of that. So I'm really happy with the pandemic because I got a lot of time with my books. So I was reading The Plague by Albert Camus last year, which I stopped midway because at that time I was like, plague, and plague is something which is so, it happened some 2 centuries ago, and why should we worry about? I just couldn't connect to it. And I picked it up during the lockdown. And then I was really amazed because the similarities were so much, and he spoke about isolation and quarantine and vaccine and lockdown. And I was like, oh my God, something which was written in 1948 is relevant even today. As you know, Albert Camus is called the father of absurdism, which is basically, where we are trying to find order and meaning and happiness in life, but the universe has its own way, and the universe is actually very, very indifferent. So the plague was really brilliant, for me to really understand the lockdown, and suddenly life, we had all planned 2020 would be so joyous, we would be doing this and that, and suddenly, we are just isolated and at home. And I particularly love the ending of The Plague, and I've just noted it down, and I would like to just talk about it, where he says that, suddenly the whole town is jubilant and they're celebrating that, the plague has gone. But the doctor knew that the plague bacillus never dies or it disappears for good. It can lie dormant for years and years in furniture and linen chests. It bides its time in bedrooms and cellars and trunks. And perhaps one day would come when, for the bane and enlightenment of men, it would rouse up its wrath again and send them forth to die in a happy city. And I just found that ending so prolific because I was like, that's exactly what's happened in 2020. God just decided that there's something else in store for us. And that's where, all of us are now battling with COVID. So yes, a lot of reading has happened. And then one of your alumni, Kalyani, she recommended, because she knew I just finished The Plague. She said, ma'am, why don't you try reading Camus' The Stranger? So I read that as well, which is an amazing book. And then I read Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, which I would recommend to all MBA students. It's a lovely, lovely book. I also read a very interesting book called I'm a Joke and So Are You, which is by a stand-up comedian. It's a British stand-up comedian. I found it very, very irreverent and funny. And presently, I'm reading a book called The Mad Woman Upstairs. This author has actually she's a graduate from Stanford, and this is based on her thesis. And this is based on the Bronte sisters. So it's a very, very interesting book. So yes, a lot of reading has happened in the lockdown.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, ma'am. Even most of us could totally relate that how we finally got the time during the lockdown to get back to the book that we left half read. So Aparna ma'am, it's nice to know that you're still able to squeeze out time from your busy schedule to read. So what are you currently reading and which book are you planning to read next and why?
Okay, I normally start off with two books, one on a lighter vein, one slightly heavier, something which makes me, forcefully think about things. So the current one which I'm reading is The Rise and Fall of the Third Chimpanzee. It is about how our animal heritage affects the way we live. And it's by Jared Diamond, and he earlier had written Guns, Germs, Steel, and also Collapse. Now this is more about how we behave and how the animal heritage, affects us, in our behavior, our interactions, etc. So it's an interesting book. And as far as the next book, I have just I read it roughly, but now I want to reread it. One is that Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass, Alice and Her Adventures Through the Looking Glass by Louis Carroll. It's about choices in life and etc. So I plan to read that. And I have another book which is more, as I said, I try with two different genres all at the same time. So this is more to do with the lighter vein, which is like Alice in Wonderland, but at the same time it will give me a little bit of learning insights, etc. And the second book which I plan to begin is Method Meets Art. It is art-based research practice. Basically, I'm very interested in folk art, folk culture, and you have the rangolis all over India. You have folk art. Artisans are doing so many things, and even folk theatre. You have say Kathakali, and in the northeast you have the Dashavatar. North we have the Ramleela, etc. So it's the book sort of brings together how we can apply research and a lot of management thinking into art-based genres. So it's like Method Meets Art is the name of the book. So that's my plan.
Wow, ma'am. The books on your list seem quite interesting.
The next question is for Rama. How do you manage your reading along with the hectic MBA schedule?
It's about, like ma'am mentioned earlier, that this year I have, in the first year, to be very honest, I got very little time to read as such. But this year, because the classes are virtual, I got a lot of time to read. I think since March, I have read around 10 to 12 books. And I'm just catching up on this year and utilizing this year to read a lot of books. Otherwise, when, we are in college or there's a normal day, or when I was working before I joined college, I used to spend half an hour every night to read. I'm a slow reader, so I take a lot of time to read because I like to enjoy and grasp the story fully when I'm reading. So what I do is I take out half an hour before I go to bed and read books. That's what I do.
Really glad to know how you have managed everything, considering the super busy schedule you have. So this is the last question, and this is to you, Anjali ma'am. In today's era of digital evolution, should one prefer books over video content? What would you suggest to someone who is looking to improve his or her communication skills, given it's a prerequisite when it comes to soft skills?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. So personally, what I believe is that dramatics, movie, theater, extempore speech, it's very, very essential part of spoken communication. Yeah. So when you're looking at, your GDs and your interviews and stuff, you really need to be very good at communicating your thoughts. And I believe that, video content is, something when you watch actors, when you see them perform, they can be very, very inspiring. A lot of us are actually, visual learners. Yeah, not necessarily, auditory learners. So we see something and we learn. So therein lies the power of movies. Therein lies the power of theater and dramatics. And if you're interested in that, you should definitely pursue it. Okay. But books is something different. Books are, it's a solitary journey. It's you and the author who go on a journey together. Books is about moving inwards. Yeah. So when I'm talking about books, it's always a point of view that is developed. Yeah. And when you're looking at it from a communication perspective, it becomes very important if you're able to read a book, if you're able to talk about it, write a review about it, then it helps. Reading for the sake of reading, just because, I think Rama mentioned like 25 books, before you reach 25, all of that doesn't make sense. I mean, everybody then just ends up sounding like parrots. And if you're going to be speaking in front of a reader, the reader would just immediately know, you really don't have depth. So I would urge, students to pick up, even if you pick up one book, it doesn't matter, but that should be a book which you really love, you've enjoyed reading it, and you can really talk about it from different perspectives. Yeah. So I see a lot of, suddenly there's a lot of mythology books which are, hitting the bookshelves. So you have, Ramayana from this perspective and that perspective. That's all, okay, that's all interesting. It's like a fad, but if you don't believe in it, then don't buy that book. Yeah. For instance, I really like The Palace of Illusions, which was Draupadi's take on the Mahabharata. But I did not like Sita's take on the Ramayana. The same author. And I can very clearly argue why one book is better than the other. Yeah. So I need to have a point of view, only then I'll talk about it. Otherwise, there's no point. So from a communication perspective, definitely I would say that given that we have such short span of, attention, video does a damn good job. We really learn a lot, but supplement it. Try to read at least one book that you enjoy. That's good enough.
I'd like to just come in here. One of the book clubs, we had one participant who spoke about the character in a book and how that character brings forth qualities of this, and that. So it wasn't the entire book content, but the character who stood out. So that I would say adds on value, whether it's communication skills or anything else. If you're looking at a personality and then engaging your thought processes in analyzing who, what, when, how, and how they spoke and why they spoke. So all of those things come in. It wasn't an entire book, but a character in a book. So that was a different way of looking at a book.
Thank you for your detailed answer, ma'am. We really appreciate it. On that note, I would like to thank Anjali ma'am, Aparna ma'am and Rama for enlightening us with their valuable insights. It was a pleasure hosting you. I'm pretty sure our listeners now have a better idea not just about the fantastic book club, but also about how reading is imperative in multiple contexts. That is it from our side. Stay tuned for another episode on Simsar Radio. Signing off.